guys for spending so much time on me.
Here we go. We are live. Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert with the Ted Show. Very excited to have the one and only beautiful Nina O'Neill on the
Hi,
show.
everybody.
And my new friend Charles Mattocks. Hey Charles, what's up?
What's up? What's up?
I am excited to have you guys on because this topic I think is critical. I am fascinated by your work. I think I put that in the promo. And so welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I want to take a deep dive, but I think it's important the audience knows just a little bit about each of you. So Nina, I'll let you go first. Just tell them a little bit about you. And then once Charles goes, we'll dive into 8 days.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you a little bit about how Charles and I met. So we'll kind of start there, and then that kind of takes.
And how Nina, how long ago? Because he asked how long ago, and I'm like, was it like 8 years?
9 years.
Wow.
I was just looking through all that last night, and yeah, it was 9 years ago, 2011. We met at the American Diabetic Association walk at Crane's Roost.
Yeah.
I was heading up physician relations for a huge company in Titusville, the largest diabetic manufacturing company and bent metal company. So I was out training doctors on remote home patient monitoring equipment way before its time, 11 years ago, when no doctor wanted to monitor anybody through any screen and be responsible for that. So it was a tough gig, but a great gig. And I met Charles, and he told me about, that he had just been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, that he was a celebrity chef, that, he thought he was doing everything right. He had a television show. He was teaching people how to eat healthy, how to eat cheap but eat well was the name of his best-selling book. And then he's diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. So cancer wasn't even in our realm back then. We were both entrenched in the world of diabetes and trying to save lives. And, he had already been in a movie with Ben Tyler called The Summer of Ben Tyler, correct?
Yeah. And not to interrupt you, Ted, my first thought was, who is this hot mama?
I know. We did kind of lock eyes there for a second. He does have gorgeous eyes. So, needless to say, I was happy to be in line with him to get my T-shirt for the walk. So anyway, here we are 11 years later, but I actually thought that he would have been a great spokesperson and face for our company. So my whole goal, was to get him to become that celebrity face for our products. And unfortunately, the guy that ran our company, that owned our company, I won't go into detail, but I wound up leaving the company, putting everything I had into Charles. I feel like I'm not looking in the right camera. Is it like straight ahead?
No, you're doing good. You're doing good.
Okay, thanks.
It is weird, yeah, but.
Yeah, sorry. We had it all set up on this great, I looked so good with the lighting, and last second we had to switch it out. So I need a glass of champagne.
Amen to that.
So, and I know that, I can't be long, but the journey wound up taking us all the way around the world. It took us all over India shooting a movie on type 2 diabetes and the pandemic of that disease that kills more people, really, I think, than cancer and a lot of things combined. And people don't really talk about it. Yeah. And we all know someone who's affected by diabetes. So we went all through the islands. We did a national bus tour around the country. Gosh, what didn't we do? We did, all the home shows. We just got out there and wound up getting him a deal with the American Diabetic Association, wrote a phenomenal cookbook for them. And then when our movie, The Diabetic You, was really just finished all production and we were ready to, finalize editing, his mother was diagnosed with a disease called, that you can tell them a little bit more about, but he did a film called Trial by Fire about that, and that's won all kinds of awards. And then his father, 5 years ago, because I remember talking to you when you were in the hospital, was diagnosed with cancer, lung cancer. And I'll just kind of leave it here with Charles.
Yeah,
because
let's
that's
let's
kind of
learn from let's learn from Charles a little bit
Yeah.
about what's happening, because I know Nina. She's amazing. She's a star. Certainly here and in my mind. But I don't know anything about Charles. I don't know anything except for what I saw briefly. And of course, Nina's been so good about keeping me informed and having me look stuff up. But I don't think my audience might not know you. So tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I started off as a pole dancer. Then from
That's really where we met.
no, but yeah, I mean, I had been doing film and music, way before I met Nina. When I was diagnosed, it was I was doing this whole thing called The Poor Chef. Moved from Los Angeles and was doing this television show called The Poor Chef on NBC, and there was I think at that time I think I was actually in Orlando. And there was I don't know how I bumped into this diabetes convention thing, this thing that I met Nina at, and I just was walking through there, and when I met her, I realized that I wanted to kind of if we wanted to do this thing the way we wanted to do it, we had to be the biggest thing in diabetes, right? Because we were working on this documentary, and I thought, wow, if you look at, let's say, Michael Moore. Michael Moore is bigger than his documentaries, right? So I realized that we had to be a major thing if we wanted people to take us serious, or nobody would take us serious. So we just immersed ourselves in advocacy. And I think at the end of the day, we're really advocates, who are trying to also run a business and be successful with our advocacy. I think the world obviously has changed. It was easier being an advocate back there. I think people actually cared, especially these companies cared about supporting people, or advocacy was looked at differently. Now it's a very different situation, and we really transferred over into more of a production company that puts out amazing documentaries and docuseries on television and also theatrical, based on health conditions, right? Because there's a big market for that, right? There are millions of people who are dealing with all sorts of conditions, from diabetes to cancer to pain, chronic pain. I mean, millions of people live in chronic pain. Everything from Lyme disease to you name it. So that we see a space in there that we can fill. And that's really what we've been trying to do, is fill that void, to tell the stories of people who are dealing with issues and conditions, right? Because you might be dealing with something, Ted, Nina might be dealing with something, and we never know what that journey is like until we actually see the people go through their journey. So what we want to do is, with our projects, is really kind of take people through the journeys of what people are dealing with, and then try to help them understand how they can deal with it, resources that are out there, experts that are out there, so that they can, best live the best life that they possibly can in this crazy world that we live in right now.
Where did 8 days come from? That I don't know.
Once again, I was looking at, we were looking at doing something else other than we did the diabetes one, and realized that the format for Reverse was a great format, that you could literally plug and play any other condition, because it was really about, Reverse was really about taking 5 people and trying to change their lives from a mental, physical, and spiritual place. It's not about reversing anything per se other than the person. So when I looked at that, I thought, wow, you know what? We could plug and play any condition. So because, of course, my father had passed away from cancer, and it was literally like one day he was here, the next day he wasn't. That kind of made me say, you know what? Maybe we can, look toward cancer. And that's how, that door opened. And I figured, you know what? Let's find 5 people who are living with cancer, do the same type of thing, find the right company, and hopefully we can jump in there and change some lives. And obviously the series is, breathtaking. Nina just binge watched it the other day, and the 4 episodes that are out right now. And, we're looking to do other series as well. We want to go from, I'm looking at, conditions. I would love to get back to diabetes. I would love to do sickle cell. Sickle cell is one that a lot of people are dealing with. That goes untold. HIV would be amazing. Can you imagine taking 5 people living with HIV into a house and in all stages, and bringing them into a house and kind of really seeing what they're going through from a mental, physical, emotional standpoint? So it's a powerful brand, and so we're working on that. Hopefully, when this show is and we get this show here out today, this the TED show, that we'll find somebody who wants to get behind it and say, hey man, let's make a change.
It's never been done. I mean, it's really never been done. They've done The Biggest Loser over and over in 6 different ways. Getting people to lose weight, but they really don't take you on much more of a journey than just that weight loss. And, so imagine, the 5 people, I mean, when you said, Charles, that these 5 people, felt like they just fell from God's hands into ours, you're not kidding.
Yeah.
They did. And by episode 2, I'm just crying because I can relate, so deeply to these mothers who have, Kate has a 3-year-old little girl, they all have kids.
Yeah.
I have chills and I could cry now. Like it's, I can't even say enough about the journey that these 5 people are on, and you get to go through it from day 1 when they step off the bus, out of the car, off the plane, on their journey through cancer. And it's just amazing. It's amazing.
Let me ask you guys, what did you, as you're documenting this, as you're talking with the patients, the cancer, because they're all going through it right now, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So what was the one thing, or did you find something in common that they all had? Because I'm a newly diagnosed cancer patient, I guess. I have cancer. So what did you find? Did you find any commonality between them as far as their approach, their perspective, their positivity, their negativity? Was there anything that surprised you as far as what they might have in common?
I think they were all in a space of mental and emotional and physical awareness. They are in tune with themselves, and I think to look outside the box and look outside of just traditional treatment, you kind of have to be in tune with yourself. You kind of have to have said, hey, you know what, man, I want to go through this a holistic route. Right. And each one of them did their research. Each one of them did their due diligence.
Many of them are this is their second time through too. So they've had cancer and now they have a recurring cancer.
Some of them didn't. You had Nicole. She had it before. But remember, Nicole knew nothing about holistic medicine.
Well, Carrie kind of did, didn't she?
Yeah.
Times two too.
Janine
too.
had done her research. She didn't want to go the traditional route, because we know that at times the traditional route, it can be fantastic, but it could also be detrimental, right? I mean, putting the radiation and the chemo and things like that, and it can be tough on a body. And so they wanted
That's what strikes you so much about Carrie. Carrie is a 45-year-old RN who, she does PET scans. She sees people in the hospital for years going through chemotherapy, and she's saying how deadly sick it makes them, how badly it breaks down your body. And, she, as a, Western medicine, working in a hospital environment in Scottsdale, Arizona, fled out of there and, went to Hope for Cancer for this alternate treatment.
Hey, Ted, did we lose you? Ted.
Uh-oh.
Because I see we're stuck on this screen here.
You've been stuck on the screen. The both of you are like just frozen.
Oh, it must be. It must be. It must be
I was
his.
about to say something.
It must be his end. I was noticing he was having a little bit of internet issues.
Oh,
I'm not.
am I moving?
I can't see you now.
Oh, I
'Cause
can still see you, but you're just frozen, and I can see me up in the corner.
you can.
Yeah. You're in the show. It says, I'm sorry, everybody, if you're going through this with us. I don't know if we're on air or not. We don't know where Ted went.
I
I
literally.
better switch this out to a glass of champagne, like I keep saying. There I am. I don't know if we're on or if I'm on. I can't see them. This is crazy. I think I'll just wait because maybe they'll come back.
I don't know what
There you are.
kicked me right
Are we
off.
back?
Anybody back?
I was just
Yeah,
about to
StreamYard
check
sent, but
out.
I think you guys were still live the whole time. So
Ah.
welcome to the audience. Yeah, it
I didn't do
gave
anything
me a
too
message and
embarrassing.
said you're out. So I don't know if it didn't like me or what the deal was. All right.
I don't either.
So
Like,
hold on a second.